Welcome to PK52, the Saturday morning meeting, the third chapter of Overcoming Objections. I'm standing right here in Round Rock ISD, that's just outside of Austin, Texas, in a great institution, 5,000 students all coming here to start their careers. What a better place to talk about education and adult education. This morning we're addressing teachers and coaches about relationships and how to determine the future for their children that come through school. Two of the biggest objections you're ever going to get is that the best you can do? Is that your best price? And what's my payment going to be? My first day in the car business, within hours of starting this career, my manager looked at me and said, never discuss price on the lot. Well, if you tell me that quick, I've got to think, well, wait a minute, is that really the secret? The number one reason why somebody doesn't buy a car from you the first time they come in is because they physically can't do the math. You give them a great price and they believe they can get a better deal somewhere else. So no matter how good your walk around or your demo drive was, the customer's going to go look and seek a better price. If you struggle with math, that's always a problem. So I had a calculator and I pulled it out of my pocket. Now you have your phone. Your smartphone has a calculator function. So you're looking at a $30,000 Avalon. Ask the customer, I said, is the 5-year note going to be okay? So let's go 30,000 and then have them divide that by 60 equal payments. And everybody watching this right now knows the number is going to say 500. Sometimes I'd say, well, that must not be right because that's not where you wanted to be. Let's do it again. And the number was 500 again. You could even do it a third time and shake it to see if you can make it do something else. It's still going to be 500. And the customer goes, well, that's way too much. I said, let me ask you a question. Where did you want to be? And I would take this, say, $300 a month, so I say 300 times 60, that's 18,000. So we need to find you an Avalon with an MSRP of around 18,000. So what happens is the math becomes ridiculous. And they finally come to the realization that a $30,000 Toyota, Honda, Chevrolet, Ford, a $30,000 pre-owned car divided equally by 60 payments with no taxes, no fees, and no interest is going to be $500. It opens up the avenue for them to understand exactly what their obligation is going to be. And then maybe a segue into leasing. I know some of you may disagree with what I just said, but I've got to tell you, over 20 years, almost 30 years into my career, I've been letting people understand the math. If they can't do the math, then there's a great chance they're not going to do the car deal. The next thing is, and let me just be very serious with you, when you go to the desk and you get a number, you've got to believe that number is a number that's good enough for them to sign and good enough for the dealership. If you don't believe that, then there is no reason to go have a communication with your customer. Walk in and they look at you and they go, is that the best you can do? Let me address that for you as we come back. I guess the toughest question in the world is, once everything's said and done and they're looking at negotiating on the car and they look at you and go, is that the best you can do? The real answer to that is, no, I mean, I could get another $100 off. They would certainly do it for another $100 or $50, or you'd be ridiculous, another $1 off. So it's not the best you can do, but it's the offer on the table. If you don't believe that that can be signed by your manager, never leave the desk. Let somebody else do it. So you've got to believe that this is a number that everybody can be happy with. The dealership's okay, they're okay, and they can have a long-term client relationship with you. Here's the way I do it. I will review the numbers, and I can't express too much that you have to review the numbers, all numbers fully disclosed, and you need to practice that on a daily basis. Be flawless in your delivery of the numbers, including documentary fee, taxes, tags, everything, payment, whatever's on there, every number disclosed. And then slide the document over to the customer and await their signature. If they say, is that the best you can do, I've always just turned the page over. And I've looked at them and I said, look, you asked me to get you a price that was affordable on the car, a great deal on the car, and I have worked hard for you, is that correct? They say, yes, you worked really hard, but it's now down to money. I say, exactly right. And in my heart of hearts, watch my hands, in my heart of hearts, I would have never brought a payment or a bottom line number to you that I didn't feel was fair for the dealership and fair for you. Then I turn the document over, all I need is your authorization. The more you practice that, the more intense you are here, the more they realize that you did bring a number that they can sign, the greater chance they're going to sign. This has been a chapter of PK52, the Saturday morning meeting. Use these ideas to broaden your ability to overcome objections. See you next week.